Thank you for taking time to view this video. I promise it'll be a short one. My name's Len McEwen, and today I just want to talk about some of the resources that may be available to you to help you get through the COVID-19 pandemic. The first one is a free resource offered by Dr. Elvira Lang. She's an associate professor of radiology at Harvard Medical School, and is regarded as a foremost authority in the world on empathetic communication behavior and procedural hypnosis. She's had her career dedicated to improving the experience of patients having medical procedures. I've known Dr. Lang for about 15 years. In fact, when I was president of the Canadian Federation of Clinical Hypnosis, it was a great pleasure to have her come and teach in Canada. I attended one of her courses last year in the pain conference held in Lake Louise. One of the things that she's done is develop an app for Android and iPhone and Windows phones called Comfort Talk Pro. This is sort of the pocket version of her work, and it's a wonderful app. It was originally put on the web as an app at a significant cost, but because of the desperate need right now in North America, well, in fact around the world, she's made it available for free. If you go to the App Store or the Android Play Store or to the XM source for apps and click on Comfort Talk Pro, you'll be able to download this app for free. I highly recommend it. It's been on my phone for well over a year, and I use it not only for my clients but also for myself. So that's the first thing I wanted to advise you of. The next are some resources that I make use of and have made use of really ever since the Slave Lake fire some years ago. And I've had experience with it, Slave Lake, Fort McMurray, the Calgary floods, a number of airplane crashes. It's proved invaluable. These are books that I've put into my library that I consult on a regular basis. Here's the first one, Intervention and Resilience After Mass Trauma. Intervention and Resilience After Mass Trauma. It's a book that has been on my shelves for some time. It's a bit expensive. This one was about $77 Canadian. And it's edited by Bloomfeld and Ursano. So it's an excellent resource, and I would recommend it to any of you that are doing work with people who have experienced the effects of COVID-19 and are finding it producing anxiety, grief, and loss, and the plethora of other disorders, if you will, that accompany them. Next one is Disasters and Mass Casualty Incidents. Again, another book that I've had in my library for a number of years. This one here was a little expensive at $144, but it's definitely a book that I have found useful. And it's Mauricio Lin as the editor. One of my favorites is Coping with Public Tragedy. Living with Grief, Coping with Public Tragedy. It's put out by the Hospice Foundation of America and edited by Latanzi, Light, and Kenneth Doka. I was fortunate enough to host Ken Doka when I was president of the Dealing with Grief Committee for Northern Alberta at one of our conferences. He's a master presenter and extremely knowledgeable, brilliant man. Would really recommend this publication. It is superb. You can see my copy is a bit moth-eaten because I've used it. Next one, this is probably one of my go-tos. It's Interventions Following Mass Violence and Disasters. And you can see it's tabbed up pretty good for areas that I have found resources that I need. I don't have a price on this one. I know it was fairly expensive. It was edited by Ritchie, Watson, and Friedman. Final one is a book that I reference just because I like to know how governments work. This one is very American in its orientation, but has provided me with a great deal of insight. It's a FEMA publication, Preparing for Mass Casualty Incidents. So it gives me, or gave me, ideas into what's actually happening behind the scenes as we prepare for and endure the corona or COVID-19 pandemic. There is another one if you are dealing with mass casualties and are working with the coroner, for instance. There's some excellent publications of how to handle bodies, and you can look for resources in a number of areas. NOVA in the United States has some wonderful experience. I can remember attending a course of theirs, this is a number of years ago, and talking about the Swiss Air crash, and some of the resources that I picked up when I went to that conference. That's all I wanted to say today. I hope you are all staying safe and healthy, and I look forward to putting out another video when I get a moment after things slow down a bit. Safe and healthy, please, you and your families. Thank you for watching.